Alrighty, take it away, Gordon.
Jill, you were asking about Mintery.
Yes, please tell me.
So yeah, I found that in the Stacks chapter catch-ups. They go through what's going on in the ecosystem. We'll go through that a bit tomorrow night in the Bitcoin meetup. And they sort of outline all the different programs that are in residency and the like, in residency and projects they're supporting in the accelerators. So Mintery, yeah, I think it's actually being powered by the foundation.
Do you think?
And so it's been set up to drive create adoption, or like helping a mentorship-driven program helping creators launch successful Bitcoin secured NFTs.
Yeah.
So, but I'd reach out to them and say, yeah, whatever is applicable to yourself, or Jacques creating the NFTs for the School of Bitcoin. It's not necessarily art driven, but they may be able to go, hey, cool, well, you can join in.
So I just clicked on the application, and I think it would be good as a creator, because if you click on apply, there is a spelling mistake that I feel I ought to point out to them in the very first in the very first line. They've spelled pseudonym wrong.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't tell them, but I think it's great. I would. What's that? Sorry. They have, haven't they? Am I looking at it wrong? Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. That's wrong, isn't it, Karen?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we're teachers. We can't help it. We pick up spelling mistakes when we're not looking for them.
I know. I'm looking at it going, oh my goodness, this is fantastic, but you spelled pseudonym wrong.
Unless it's like a cool Web3 way to spell it.
Yeah. There's no right and wrong, right? There's no right and wrong. But yeah, I was thinking as a creator, I've only just glanced through, but I think maybe the card game could.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I posted it for you. So
Perfect.
if you reached out to Mintery and Elena is the lady leading the program, and I've just dropped her Twitter handle in the chat there as well.
All right. So I'll just put, when I talk about the team, I'll just talk about team of 5 and more, and just do it as a sort of a, like, on behalf of our team. Do you think that's okay?
Sure. Whatever you need. Whatever you need.
All right, perfect.
I just thought, look, if you can go into an actual program and learn all about it, well, then you've got a resource we can teach to the rest of Australia.
Okay, I like it. I will do that today.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Good find, Gordon.
Yeah, good find.
All right. So I wanted to talk today about something called Citadel that I've been using for the last couple of days, just setting up a full node, and it is so cool. I think it's the best software I've seen for running a Bitcoin full node, but also a node that lets you do all this other stuff that I want to get into. But it kind of ties into what you posted, Karen. So I thought maybe we'll talk about what you were saying for what your experience with that event you're at, and the topic that you suggested for today's agenda, I think, was really cool. Did you want to talk about it?
Sure. I've just sorry, I've been just going through my notes from it, but there was a session in doing school differently on digital rights and privacy. And privacy is a right in the algorithmic age, but that's not the topic that I gave you. Do you want to say the topic I gave you, Kieran?
Yeah. Excuse me, did you drop this data? I like that.
And if you want to show maybe the first or second image I sent you, and I'll send you all of them, let's haven't edited them properly. But the lady who spoke first about this was children and young people's digital rights in the algorithmic age. And she was a professor at Deakin University, and she talked about how we don't know how much everything about us is everywhere. And she referred to an exhibition at the Museum of Discovery, which I found out later was next door to where this conference was being held. So as soon as I could, I went in there and into this exhibition. And you actually stand on QR codes, and there are cameras everywhere, and it's getting the message across in so many different ways that whatever you do, wherever you are, people know you, people see you, people hear you. You have absolutely no privacy whatsoever. And I thought this is relevant when we're talking about financial literacy. Who's seeing what you're doing, what you've got, where you're going, where you're getting your information from? And it went through in so many different ways in the exhibition. Things like how your data is collected, that your phone, what it lets loose everywhere, every minute of your day, when you wake up, what you do, what you're looking at, and how platforms that people go on, they can go on the same platform, but they're actually personalized to so much that you may be in the same place but not seeing the same things. Unintended emissions. Are we aware of what we all leak, how much data from our phones just by being around? There were things like a deep fake lab in the exhibition. Another thing about selfies, how they're manipulated and used in so many ways. There was a game called Double Check, paying attention to details. And quite a few, and in the game, that visual disinformation and misinformation, how something can be cropped and just a key something not there, or something added that changes the whole thing. Miscaptioned images, just information that's just not authentic or relevant to what, I mean, it fits in with the fake news a hell of a lot, but we're all victims of it, consumers of it, because what do we know? Who do we trust? And how often young people only get the information from media, from social media, and how accurate is that? There's also a machine where you can do your face done by algorithms, and
cool.
It's so interesting, and how much information can be told just by that. You're a kind person, a person you can trust, a person this, a person that. Unbelievable stuff, and how it all depends on what information has already been in the input. And there was a video about a Black woman who couldn't really get information out because there just weren't enough examples of Black people in the input. But there was also in the session that this professor ran, there was a wonderful video, and I'll stop here because I would just keep talking, but I want to hear what Karin's got to say and everyone else too. But
No,
there
it's
was
really interesting.
there was talking about creativity with information too. And there was a video of Adam Goods, Jacques, and for people who wouldn't know him, he's an Aussie rules footballer and an Indigenous player who's had some very rough times, but he's a wonderful football player. And at one stage, he had a little camera on him all the time while he was playing football, and it recorded the whole ways his body moved all the time, and with his permission. I mean, he did it all with absolute permission. And when he looked at the videos later, he could see what he was doing and how his body was responding, and it really helped him improve his match and play like he wanted to play. And just so interesting seeing the very positives of having more information, as well as the really tough stuff too. So fascinating exhibition. It's on till November.
Oh, cool.
But you can see not as nearly as much on the website, but quite a bit. And I've taken a lot of notes from the session too about privacy and stuff from the professor, but it was just a real, and the exhibition is called Invisibility, and really interesting to think how much is invisible to us in our world and what are we seeing. And yeah, I'll stop there.
Invisibility exhibition. Is this the one here? I'll share it. Yeah. So it's probably sharing the wrong thing there.
Yeah, that's because they talk about things on the earth. They use also in so many different factors that they talk about.
Cool. I'll have to go in.
The glass room is the one that has so many things in, but also technology in so many different ways. Like you can put your hand on it on images, and the whole thing straight away at the touch. Well, we know that can happen, but the way things change and how they're interpreted. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, very cool. And so you did this as part of a part of the event that you were going to?
Well, it wasn't part of the event, but
Okay.
when the professor talked about digital rights of children, she showed the Adam Goods video and she talked about this exhibition. And I said, I want to find out more about it. I'm not often in Adelaide, but I'm here now. And the next morning, before I caught my plane, I had time to whip in quickly.
Very cool. Very
I was
cool.
very glad I did.
That's awesome. Oh, thanks for sharing that, Karen. That's really good. Well, yeah, so that kind of leads into what I wanted to, one of the things I wanted to chat about this morning. So yeah, the Citadel, it's software. So if you go to runcitadel.space, it's a fork of something called Umbrel. And basically what it lets you do is run a full node, but then it also lets you install a whole bunch of apps and makes it really easy to do that. Let me just share my screen again. Hang on. So this is my node here. So I'm already at 57% syncing. So that's almost 3 years ago. To put that in perspective, I've launched this the other day and I'm already there. For my node, it took like a month to sync, or over a month, really. It was crazy. And for my Casa node, it was similar sort of time. I think it's because I've got a M.2 drive, but also this software is much quicker at syncing the blockchain. So you have your, Lightning address, your Bitcoin address, and you can connect up a whole bunch of different wallets, including like your hardware wallets and Lightning wallets and all the rest of it. But then it's got all these apps. And they're really easy to set up. So like we were talking about the other day, Electra, Tallycoin, you can actually run off this. So it's not run by a third person. It's literally on the node sort of thing. You can set up Nextcloud, so it's like a personal cloud storage. Vault Warden, which I didn't know about, but basically this might be something for us for the digital Playhouse, and actually even for the School of Bitcoin, having a shared password manager you can actually run between nodes. So I'm going to have a play with that like this week as well. So maybe we do that instead of the other system I was going to set up for us, but I'll play with it first and see if it's good. But the reviews have been really good and it's all open, so you can review the code for it. Photo Prism is really good as well. The ones that I have installed so far, actually Bitfeed's really, really cool. So it gives you like a visual of either your node or the full blockchain, like in real time. And there's a whole host of other stuff, but the really cool one that we got going with myself and Tiggs. So he was the one who set me up with all this. So shout out to Tiggs on Discord. He's probably watching this. Element. So Element links to something called Matrix, and you can literally run a client and a server on your node and be chatting to each other. So and you can actually do video as well. It's like this conversation that we're having, you could do node to node, and we had that set up, and it's all done through Onion routing as well, which is like an encrypted protocol for communication. I was blown away by how easy it was to set up and how well it worked. So we were actually sending even FLAC files to each other quicker than it would be sending it through any other sort of third-party service. And I was just like, wow, this is really next level. I was thinking for the learners, like there's a lot of stuff that you can, like visual learning that you can do with this. So that was one. You can obviously set up your own blogs and all that sort of thing as well, and hosted torrent on there as well. But tail scale was something that really blew me away as well. So basically what that lets you do is you install it, it runs on the node. You don't have to do any port forwarding, which is always an issue with when you're setting this sort of stuff up in learning spaces or, in institutions or schools or whatever, where you don't have control of the network. Basically, without doing port forwarding, this creates a tunnel through to your node, that you can access from any device outside that network, and it was so easy to set up and use. I was just like, wow, these guys have really knocked it out of the park. And lastly, and this is something that I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff on here. You can actually run a Minecraft server on it as well, Gordon. So that might be something really cool to do for the learners in the space.
Awesome.
Yeah, in the digital playhouse. But this thing as well. So Uptime Kuma. So I've got that set up, and you can literally leave it watching whatever websites, or you can actually do more than websites. So any systems that you want to monitor, you can create a dashboard and it watches them in real time. So if you imagine like in a classroom setting, having a screen set up like that, and the learners can just see in real time, oh, okay, that's up, our Minecraft server's up, all right, it's down, what do we do? And you can have, like, instead of one person just doing that, you can have a whole bunch of people doing that. And that's all running off the one little box. I'll show you how small it is as well. I don't know if you can see that.
You're sharing your screen.
Okay, so just taking over. That little box there is running all that stuff. It's crazy.
Wow.
So, and that's just a Raspberry Pi 4 with 8 gig RAM, and a 1 terabyte hard drive. But amazing. So I really highly recommend like us all doing that. And we could even potentially, setting that up, we could potentially run these meetings like through your node, like between each other, sort of thing.
So, sorry, where did you get the little box from, Kieran? Is it just JB Hi-Fi or?
So that's a Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
So that's a long story, actually. So Chris from CoinStop was going over to where did he go? Sweden with bit refill, and they had some like on sale. So that one actually came from Sweden back in his bag with him. Because the idea was that they're meant to be like $30 computers, right? That was like kind of the selling point from the jump with Raspberry Pis, like cheap boards that you can do all these projects with. And that's actually what we bought first. For Rana Park, we got in contact with some universities to buy us some, so to demonstrate, they could buy computers from the other side of the world for school kids in Australia with no middleman. Now with all the shipping stuff that's going on, it's like I've seen them for $300. That's like, oh my God, it's just gone up like crazy. But I mean, I'm sure they'll come down again. But yeah, highly recommend at least getting one by each.
Darren, so from non-technical people, in terms of putting together a practical guide on how to do and set this up, like for our learners, because I find it's quite often for people to do it, to sift through the maze of the technicalities. If we can go buy this, do that, that'd be awesome.
Yes, well, that was my thinking. So out of all the hardware that I've used, and I've set up a whole bunch of nodes and miners and everything over the years, this has been the easiest and the cleanest install. And I mean, it's still not synced, so half the stuff I haven't even been able to play around with yet, but it lets you do everything kind of off the bat, and it doesn't compromise for security. So that's what really got me. So like usually when it's like ease of use for something, it's like, a seesaw, security or usability. This gives you both, like without compromising, and does it in a nice, easy and fun way to set up. Like some stuff you're kind of pulling your hair out and setting it up, but this was just like fun, and you're just exploring like different stuff as you go, and it's not confronting. So yeah, I reckon we can put together a really nice tutorial on how to set. And there's not really one online. Like there's a few people on YouTube. There's stuff in their forum. Like their forum is quite good, but it's usually people with specific problems like posting stuff from what I've seen. So I reckon if we do a walkthrough setup like for each of us, it'd be quite cool.
So it's interesting. Umbral are actually one of the residents in the Stacks residency at the moment, even though that's a fork of Umbral. So, yeah, it's in that. I wrote a newsletter. I wrote a blog just about the whole Stacks chapter meeting the other day.
Yeah.
Which we're going to go through we're going to go through some of the apps and the likes in the meetup on Thursday night. I've dropped in the chat there if anyone hasn't read that. That's sort of like the latest from Stacks. and Umbral was in there. I'd come across that matrix as well through when you start to dig around I started to follow all these projects and who they were and where they were all operating now. It is on Element. In the Bitcoin community, some of the boys said, oh, we're on Element now. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Cutting edge stuff. You're right. It's all cutting edge that.
It's awesome. And it's like, it's gotten to a point where it's easy to use now as well. So like historically, any encrypted tech like Tor or anything was like clunky and hard to build it, but it's getting to a point where it's just as easy, which I love. But Element also, I'm going to contact them because they do hosted communication, and there's a way that you can get basically your Element instance to talk to like Signal and Telegram and Discord, etc. So what I'm thinking is we can set up an Element server, and it doesn't matter what other people are on; they can still communicate back and forth. So it sounds like a bit of a setup, but I reckon it'd be definitely worth pursuing anyway. So that was that. We've got a lot of people joining the Discord as well, which you noticed as well, Gordon. We might have to get like a capture or something set up. Like I was thinking, might reach out to Jeremy and see if he's got some ideas on how we do that. Hopefully, I mean, it doesn't look like any of them are bots. Looks like it's all legit people, but
that looks good so far.
Yeah. If it starts ramping up, then maybe we should look at.
And also thought to get some engagement with wallets into the School of Bitcoin. Like you might go, okay, you can get into here with the Captiva, but if you want to go into there, you've got to get a Hero wallet and hook in. You know.
Yeah, great idea.
To get into different levels, and that will create adoption.
Yep, love that. That's a great idea.
And I've seen it in on the Elrond blockchain, where you've had to actually go in to get into some of the metaverses. You actually have to send like a zero transaction or a micro transaction. So you have to download a wallet. You have to do a transaction to get into part of it.
I like that. That's a good idea.
And then it's not sort of stopping that. You haven't stopped people just getting in to start with, but if they want to go on to the next level, it sort of sorts out who's actually wanting to be involved in the project, wanting to download a Stacks wallet.
Yep, I like that.
And it automatically creates first step of use of the School of Bitcoin.
Yeah,
which is download a Hero wallet.
Yeah, I love that. So the other thing I wanted to mention as well, so tomorrow night, I don't know who can make it, but we've got a fair bit on tomorrow. So we got the meetup at 5:30, and then at 11 p.m. after that, it's the Stacks chapter sync. So I think that's, I don't know, like who, it looks like other people from the Stacks communities, maybe closer to us, want to sort of connect. I think that might be Japan as well, from the looks of it. So yeah, I don't know if anyone's available at 11 o'clock tomorrow night. But
Karin, I speak Japanese. I don't know whether I told everybody that.
Well, that would be really helpful.
So I lived in Tokyo for 10 years, and my husband's Japanese. That's our language that we speak. So I'm fluent.
No
Japanese.
way. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool.
11 o'clock, huh?
Yeah. Well, if you can, I'll shoot you the invite anyway.
Yeah, I'll see how I go. Be nice though to make that connection.
I mean 11 o'clock's better than 1 or 2 in the morning as it's been.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
I've had the best intentions and just slept through like alarms and everything. All right, hang on, I'll send it through to you now, Jill. All right, so you should have an invite for that. And then the tomorrow for the meetup, for the Bitcoin meetup, Gordon and Electra, are you good sort of logistics wise?
I'm good.
You're all good?
I'll be remote.
Okay, cool. So
I'll be at the Playhouse. So it's just whether you're opening it up or it's from here, whichever, however.
Okay.
Just have to go through that with me.
So yeah, I could either run it. I'm just thinking. So basically, have you got a full what was this one? Bitcoinhackers.org. Okay, cool. So that's cool. All right, I'll check that out, Gordon. Yeah, have you got a full Zoom account for Digital Playhouse?
I haven't organised that yet, but I could organise it this morning. I've just had a look at the connecting up. The discounts were rather elusive because they charge an admin fee to make it close to the full cost of it anyway. So I wasn't quite sure which package to get. But I mean, we need to get one anyway. I figured 3 hosts, it'll cost us about $400 a year. So I just need clearance from you guys if we want to invest in that. Alternatively, we could continue using my my professional Zoom subscription, which has been very underutilized, my accounting practice, until January for free.
Okay. Well, yeah, because I've got this
And
one.
I can invite you into it. So
That might be the way to
For
go.
the minute, the link that we used last time is the link that's posted in all of the meetups. So I think it's something that you'll have to host this time. And if we're going to change that, we'll need to.
Okay. Yeah.
The same link. If you go into the meetup, you'll see the link.
Yeah, that's right.
Does that sound okay? Can you drive it from your end?
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, no worries.
That'd be great. And
I might
maybe
invite you into our Zoom account so that you can, I mean, I don't want to derail this meeting, but that's something I wanted to discuss with you this morning.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Yeah, for the next one, we'll get the link changed and get a set up for it. So then there's no rush. All right, yeah, I can run from here, and we'll just do it the same as last time. It'll just be, yeah, presenting. So is there people coming to the space, Gordon?
You never really know. It'll be maybe 1 or 2 locals, you know.
I mean,
but online, we've got quite a few people that bought tickets, so we'll see how it all goes.
Yeah. I mean, like the presenters, they're not coming into the space; they're doing it via Zoom.
Oh yeah, we're all remote. So Electra, so yeah, for yourself and for Michael, he's down in Central Coast, north of Sydney.
Yep.
And,
okay. Beautiful.
And Electra, if we're talking about the El Salvador tour.
Yep.
I hadn't asked you. You can do that one, Electra.
Sounds good. All right, cool. So
we're all remote.
Awesome.
I've also got access, been given some access to one of the biggest Melbourne meetup spaces. So we're allowed to put our marketing through there.
Oh, so Karen's. Yeah, Karen. That's awesome.
Thanks, Karen. So she's given me access to that today. So we'll have a 2,500 community in there to tap into too.
Awesome. That's so good. So cool. Well, hopefully she's joining again as well tomorrow night. What was the other thing on it? Oh yeah, so Jacques. I haven't heard from Jacques. I wanted to see how he was progressing with Figma and the days and the login feature, but maybe next week. We'll see how we go. And then finally, on my notes, I had just digital Playhouse updates. So like you just mentioned, Gordon, there's a site up now for adopting Bitcoin Australia. So I've got that up and running. And the other project I'm really excited about kicking off and potentially getting some funding for as well is the Will Run Away project. So basically with the help of Bob Perlman over in America, documenting the pedagogical practices of Run a Park and doing that in a way that's accessible to everybody. So I've spun up a GitHub repo for that specifically. And we've started like a monthly catch up and like Zoom chat for that as well. So like a bit of a podcast and just a way to sort of capture all the stuff that was really important to that school, and not just the tech side of stuff. I think the majority of like what they did, how the school was run with student centrism in mind, but from an early age, and how they achieve that and how they can sort of maintain that documentation so other schools can kind of build from that. So they did that. So Bob did that with a school called the Saturn School, which was named after the Saturn car, which is a car over in America. And basically the principal for that school got like really a lot of funding to build some cutting edge learning spaces and use computers and all that sort of thing. This is like in the 90s, like when no one was sort of doing it. and yeah, that school had a similar sort of ending to Arana, where the department, or the equivalent of the department over in America, they have, what do they call them? It's not SEALs in America. It's superintendents. So they had a new superintendent come in and basically just mandate standardized testing, and all the self-learning that the kids were doing and all the amazing work that we're doing kind of went out the window. And yeah, that was the end of the school. So, but they documented all of that, and they've got a really good online presence for that. So we want to try and do the same for Rana. So yeah, that was the two big things, adopting Bitcoin and Runaway. Gordon and Electra, did you have any other updates for digital Playhouse stuff?
Just a whole lot of things going on right now.
Yeah, were you? How's everything going with the space down there in Melbourne?
Yeah, good. So I've got a meeting after this, and starting next Friday, I should be able to utilize the space, and because they're still on school holidays at the moment, so it's no one there, sort of thing. But yeah, all going ahead. And I'm actually going in there tomorrow morning. So I'll know more sort of by next week. But yeah, it sounds like sort of full steam ahead. So all good.
And I've just been focused on grant applications and developing sort of financial literacy programs for sort of Web3 business and accountants. So that's, I'm applying for, looking at some grants there as well, but I've applied for the Social Enterprise Development Fund for $25,000 to build a learning management system. I was going to collaborate with you, Jill, but I was so busy. It was due 30th of June, and I'm an accountant. I just got it in.
I know. Yeah, it's yeah. That's okay.
Today, the expressions of interest, Kieran, are due for the if we want to go for the Ignite Fund. It's round 9. I didn't make it through to the second round last year. It's quite quite competitive.
It is very competitive for Electra, because I tried with a program about 3 years ago with the Ignite funding, and me being a literature English teacher, I actually set up a dashboard for teachers with regards to comprehension for kids, and I put that in as an educational grant for Ignite. And I did the interviews, so I know exactly the process, but it would be interesting to try something with thin literacy instead. Yeah.
Well, it's due today, so they always make these things due at a hard time. Yeah.
Okay.
And Kieran, yeah, we haven't had a chance to collaborate on that, so I don't know.
Would be a good one though. It's not just the money, that one. It's so good to get the publicity and your name out there with Ignite. Yeah.
I mean, if you've got like a couple of hours spare today for an MVP, like just to describe the MVP of our financial literacy programs, and
could we take something? Yeah. I know, yeah, they're good.
Yeah, so it's just an expression of interest. It's not a full grant application.
Well, why don't we take something from the white paper? Because there's stuff that we could take from the white paper that I think we could copy and paste.
Yeah, I've given the login link to Kieran, but if you've got experience with this, Jill, you know, a little bit of time today to get it in, that could give us an opportunity.
Kieran, do you want to send me the link?
I'm just looking for it.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. We could have a little go.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll pull up, I'll see if I've got my details from the last one I did, and see if I can sort of meld them, massage them together and throw it in. Yeah.
Was that on my Digital Playhouse email, Electra?
Maybe.
So many different things.
Oh, I had a login and I passed the login to you. I'll just go into my password manager and find it. I've got my own login.
God, I got so much stuff. I don't even know.
It's a bit like that, doesn't it? I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the grant application.
I'm also talking to, last night I was talking to, even though it's not to do with School of Bitcoin, it's kind of related, with Uma Malasam from the Accountant Quiz about developing, that this is for Request Finance, who have payment platforms for Web3 and crypto. They have a grant available for education and sort of knowledge awareness kind of community grant. and suggested I apply for that grant and develop a program for businesses wanting to start in Web3 and crypto and what tooling to use, their tech stack. So that interests me a lot, and I was going to apply for that.
Yeah.
So needed. It's so needed. So they need to support that. It's big time.
I had a wonderful chat with him, and I have get on quite well with the Request guys. So I'm going to put that on their behalf, and they like to look at School of Bitcoin too. But it's a bit out of their realm, but, but to support SMEs and encourage people to become sort of crypto literate. I guess to be able to use these tools, you look at it and go, wow, I want to use this, I want to do this, but first I have to go to the School of Bitcoin. So know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a good funnel.
Okay, I'll pursue that.
Just on the Stacks meetup the other day as well, there was an education app called Leos.guru. Somehow the app is like, they've got their structured app, but you as an educator or a school or running an education program can go in and, I don't know if it's fork it or use it. You can set up your own off the back of it. So that's and there's so many different education platforms and different things coming out now, but that's a latest sort of cutting edge one that's being built on Stacks. I dropped the link in there, so check that one out. That
was just a waiting list to join that, wasn't it, Gordon?
Yeah, maybe to try it out.
Yeah, cool. Oh,
I also thought just in regards to when I was ran into elements and then dived into matrix, I ended up going into finding out what is matrix and what's all behind it, and I found the people behind it, Dr. Judah Steiner. She's from Parity, which were the developers of Polkadot. She's on the team behind Matrix. She's one of the guardians. And out of that, I came across this thing, the Matrix Foundation, and it's basically got the whole what they're about, the guardians of the foundation, the legal details, the rules of the foundation, the Matrix Manifesto, the mission, and the values, and the specific core team, the spec core team. And I thought out of that there is probably something that would be good to develop that for the School of Bitcoin. Yeah. So you've got, some, even though it's a decentralized system, you still need to have, the why you're in it and who's in it and have that structure, because it's obviously going to grow pretty big. And I think similar for the foundation is we started for the Digital Playhouse Foundation, what's it about, why you're a part of it, and why you don't fit with the program, So at some point I thought, doing a workshop on that would be a good idea.
That was this one here, wasn't it, Gordon?
Yeah. So, it's not everything's in there, but it's just a sort of a structure I hadn't really looked into. In terms of building out DAOs, they usually have all these things as to, why you'd want to be part of their movement. One of the key things in there was, say, for example, was, about the IP of projects. And in this one here, they've specifically stated patent incumbent IP is strictly prohibited from being added to the standard. So there's a few things around it, that I think we should be clear on.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I reckon. Let's
it's just it's a bit of a concept more than a follow what they've done. It's just a concept about how we and put it probably into Gitbook or something.
Yeah, I'm down for that for sure. Well, we could spin up a page for it.
Yeah.
Editing that. Well, why don't we do a Google Doc and start putting in?
Yeah, and it's probably about getting some input about what we think should be in there and what we are focused on and what is important to us, so that we can attract the people so they've got a passion about it.
Yep. Yeah, agreed.
We're all here, but people will come and go,
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good idea. I'll do up a Google Doc and we can start putting in some ideas.
Probably got it all there already. In quite a few things will be there, but putting it into some structure and then adopting it.
I like that structure too. Yeah, very good. I'll share that through and we can bang in some ideas as we go. Well, that's great. So that's pretty much everything I had today. Anyone else want to get? I've got a meeting at 10:30, so I've got to go in probably 10 minutes. But yeah, I think the next, or I do want, and I was thinking about this during the week, I just ran out of time. I do think finding all those online resources and, like you said, Karen, putting the right language around them for like a rating system. I'm really, really keen on that idea, and as part of the marketplace sort of thing. So I reckon we still keep thinking about that. Just need time to sort of get them together, and then, like, I know we've gone through that, well, most of us has gone through that 21 days of Bitcoin thing, but like, systems like that or curriculum like that we can kind of review to a certain degree, and then suggest for other people to go through. I'm really, really keen on that idea. But yeah, we just need the time to do it, I suppose. That's the only thing. So yeah, all good.
I think that'd be great. I mean, if Karen had some parameters which you wanted to suggest, which we could then do that. I love that way of learning that you have that understanding of, Karen. It's not the mainstream way of rating and assessing the value in things.
Sure. Look, we've all got different skills that we can bring together, and together we can make it so it's really clear, I think.
Thanks for those login details, Electra. Awesome.
Anyone have a go? Anyone
have a crack at it. Yeah, maybe we'll do another session around that. I'll get to, when I get some time, we'll get together some stuff that I've already gone through, share that with the group, and then maybe we can come up with some language around how to rate them, Karen, with maybe some Demodo thinking strategies or something like that, because I think that'd be really, really valuable to the sort of broader community. So, but we can do that down the track. So for tomorrow night, I'm assuming everyone can hopefully come to the Bitcoin meetup. If you haven't got the detail, Karen, if you need the details, let me know. I'll shoot them through to you.
Can you shoot mine through to me as well?
Yeah, sure thing.
That'd be good.
Are you gonna come in VR or?
I'm going to run to JB Hi-Fi and buy a VR headset beforehand when I arrive in Brisbane. So hopefully I can be there.
Okay, awesome.
Go. What am I doing?
Well, it'll be interesting to see how many people will rock up in VR. So I'll do both. I'll have to have them both up, but yeah, it should be all good. So yeah, all right. So we're all good for that. Is there anything that you guys kind of need for that? Probably not. If I'm running it, just jump in, give us the Google slides beforehand, and I'll get them up and rocking. For the presenters, actually, Gordon, if we can get the slides beforehand, and I'll get them up so they're kind of good. So it's not last minute.
Awesome.
But yeah, looking forward to it. Should be awesome. Hopefully we'll get well, it sounds like we'll get a lot of people, so it's going to be cool. Very, very cool. All right, we might leave it there, guys, unless anyone else had anything.
I'm Electra. Shall I'll do this. I've already logged in, so I'll have a crack at this grant and let you know how I go through the day. Shall I?
Yeah, just email me during the day. I'll be around. I'm free from about 12 onwards and can have a look at it with you.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay, thanks. Have a lovely day, everyone.
All right.
See you in VR.
Luck for the grant. Go for it.
Thanks.
Cheers, bye.